All right, Shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahushai Barakatah, Yahweh Shemartah Ba'Shem Yahushai. This is the Isupk Florida Sabbath service. With that, I'm going to say a Majum. Why upon Yahudim. We'll start off by saying the prayers. We'll start off by saying the Lord's Prayer. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakwaka, Taba'ah, Zaka, Hayah, Aisha, Baharatazah, Kawa, Hayah, Bashemayim, Nathanawa, Lakam, Kal, Yuwam, Wasalak Nawa, Kabawath Yanawa, Kasalak Nawa, Kabawath Yanawa, Wala'ah, Tabiyahaya Nawa, Balasana Abal, Hayashaya Nawa, Bayan, Rad, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Wahal, Wa'ala, Wahafparawith, Lawalumyum, Amen. Okay, in the English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. So be it. Next prayer is going to be a cup, or in English, the power. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai Babakashah. Lathana Nawa, Hakap, La Pa'ah, Kal Makalah, Wakal Madawa, Hakap, La Tahar, Hamata Uriam, Hakap, La Hakwim, Hamathium, Hakap, Arakaras, Hatama'ala, Lagarshim, Ba'Shem Yahushai. Tawala, Amen. All right, in English is Yahweh. In the name of Yahushai, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness, the power to heal and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out in the name of Yahushai. Thank you, so be it. Next prayer is the blessings, Barak. Barakatah Yahweh Yahushai. Wa Maka Ya Allah. Wa Allahayim. Matazabiya Alawamp Yahana. Ha Alawampiyam Hasaranyam. Ha Kwatazayanyam. Ha Kalyayam. Wa Ha Akwathiam. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. The water. Amen. Okay, in English is bless you Yahweh. And Yahushai. And Michael. And the angels. Commander General Yahana. The generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua, thank you. So be it. Psalms 121. Yasha'ah ayyan aharyam ay mayan. Yaba'a Isaiah. Isaiah ma'ayin Yahweh. Aisha shamayam waharatazah. Al yathan. Lamawat regalga. Al yanawam shamarka. Hanala'ah. Yanawam wala'ah. Yayashan. Shalomar Yasha Allah. Yahweh. Shamarka. Yahweh. Tazalka. Ayat. Yom Yunka. Yawamam. Hashemah la'ah kakalka. Wayirak balah. Yalah. Yahweh. Yashamarka. Makar Rai. Yashamar. Ashanapashka. Yahweh Yashamar. Tadawa Afka. Wabawa Afka. Ma'itha. Wa'alam. In the English is, I will lift up my eyes into the hills, from which cometh forth my help. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee for all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. All right, next prayer will be Psalms 83. Alahayim, al damayalaka, al fakarash, wa al fakashakwa, al kayahna, yahamika, yamayawam, wa mashanayika, nasha'awa, ra'ash alaimaka, yamayamwa, sawad, waya, fawa azatazawa, altazapawanyika, amarwa, lakawa, wanakunkia, magalia, wala yazakar, Shem Yasha Allah, Iwad, Kaya, Nawa Aitazawa, Lad Yakabwa, Al Yakah, Hayath, Barath, Yakabwa, Yakathwa, Ahalya, Adawam, Wayashmayalam, Habawa, Mahagarian, Gabal, Wa'aimawan, Wa'aimalak, Palashath, Aim Yashabia, Tazawa, Gamashawa, Nalawa, Haim, Hayawa, Zarawa, Labani Lawat Shalah, Ashalahum, Kamadian, Kasa Yasara'a, Kayabian, Banakal, Wawashawan, Nashamadwa, by Ayan Da'ara, Hayawa, Dama, Lahaduma, Shayathamwa, Nada Yamua, Kai Aram, Wakaza Abba, Wakaza Abak, Waka Taza Manai, Kaunas Yakamwa, Ashar, Amarwa, Na Yarash, Ladawa, Ath, Na Awath, Alahayim, Alahaya, Shayathamwa, Kagalga, Kakwash, Lapanyaka, Kaash, Saba Ira, Ka Wakala Abba, Waba Sawapa, Tabalahum, Mala'a, Panyahum, Kwalawan, Wayabashua, Shemka Yahawa, Yabashua, Waya Abawa, Aya'id, Waya Aparwa, Waya Abadwa, Waya Dawa, Kaya, Asa, Shemka Yahawa, Labadka, Al Yawan, Al Kar, Ha Haratiza. Okay, in the English is, keep not thy silence, O God, and hold not thy peace. And be not still, O God, O Yahweh. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. They have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gebal and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. Ashur is also joined with them. They have opened the children of Lot Salah. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jaban, and the brook Kisan, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Orel, and like Zayed, yea, all their princes as Zebah, and as Zamuna, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of God in possession. O my God, make them like a wheel, as a stove before the wind, and as a fire burneth the wood, and as a flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name, O Lord. Let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou whose name alone is Yahweh art the Most High, O Lord of the earth. Okay, with that, I say Yeshabi, which means be seated. Give me a second. Salaki. Sure this one. All right, so I believe last week y'all was on Ezekiel chapter 8 and verse 8. So that's what we're going to start off. Ezekiel chapter 8, verse 8. Bear with me just a second to get to the spot. All right, so this is Ezekiel chapter 8, verse 8. Wahaya Bashanath Ha Shashayath Basha Shaya Bakamash Bamsha La Kadash Ainaya Yahushab Bayathya Wa Zakwanaya Wa Oslaki Ya Hawda Ya Wa Shabayim La Punya La Paul Ilya Shum Yad Adanaya Yahweh Wa Ara Ayah Wa Hana Damawath Wa Matha Nayat Wa Lama Ilah Kama Ra'a Zahar Ka Ayan Ha Kasha Malat Wa Yasha La Lak Faba Naya Yad Waya Slaki Slaki Waya Ka Naya Bataza Ya Tazath Ra Ashaya Wa Thasha Athaya Ra Waka Bayan Ha Wataza, Wa Bayan, Ha Sha, it's like a Ha Shamayim, Wa Saba'a, Athaya, Yawa, it's like it, Ya, it's like it, Ya, Wa Shalama, Ba Mara Awath, Alahayim, Al, Balata, Shah Ira, Ha Banai Yamaya, Ha Pawana, Tazaba Wana, Ashar, Shum, Mawasha, Sawama, Hakwa Na'a, Ha Makwana, Wa Hana, Sham, Kabawa, Allah Haya, Yasha Allah, Kama Ra'ah, Ashar, Ra, Haya, Ha, Bakwa Ayat, Waya Amar, Alaya, Ban, Adam, Sha'a, Na'a, Ayana Ya, the bark, Taza Slaki, Taza Pana, Wa Asha'a, Ayanawa, the rock, Taza Pawana, Wana Wa Hana, Mataza Pawan, Lasha Ira, Ha Mazabak, Zamal, Na'a, Haiza, Ba Aya, Way Amar Haya, Ban, Adam Hara'a, Atha, Mahum, Maha, Hama, Aishayim, Tawa, Ainawas, Galilawas, Ashar, Bayas, Yasha'Allah, Aishayim, Paha, Pa, Lara, Kakwa, Ma, Aila, Makwa, Dasha, Dasha, slightly. Wa Awad, Dasha, Ta, Shawab, Ta, Ra'a, Taba Aibawas, Da Lawas, in the English. Again, this is Ezekiel chapter 8, verse 8. Then said he unto me, Son of man, dig now in the wall. And when I had digged in the wall, behold a door. And he said unto me, Go in and behold the wicked abominations that thou do here. So I went in and saw, and behold every form of creeping things, and abominable beasts, and all the idols of the house of Israel, portrayed upon the wall round about. And there stood before them 70 men of the ancients of the house of Israel, and in the midst of them stood Jazanah, the son of Safan, and every man his censer in his head, and a thick cloud of incense went up, and said unto me, Son of man, hast thou seen what the ancients of house of Israel do in the dark? Every man in his chamber of his imagining. For they say, The Lord seeth us not, the Lord hath forsaken the earth. He said unto me, Turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations that they do. Then he brought me to the door of the gate of the house which was toward the north. And behold, there sat a woman weeping for Tammuz. All right. So this is really going into, this is really going into us, Israel being wicked. Israel being wicked, Christian church, everything that goes on that going in there, and everything that goes on that you don't know. And you've heard some of the stories of what actually goes on in the Christian church. And I mean, some of the stories you don't even want to even hear what's going on in the Christian church. These Muslim mosques, these religions, not too long ago, what is this guy called? Nature Boy. I guess that's what they call it. He moved out into the wilderness. He got this lady out here, he forcing her to do everything that he want done, using her money, and nobody cared about it. You know what I'm saying? Nobody cared about what was happening to this sister. But you go on these certain blackety-black channels where you'll see these guys show up. And you never hear these guys being called womanizers, abusers, beating their wife. Still to this day, I ain't seen no video about what this guy is doing to this woman and the women. That's just one. Can you imagine what he doing to people in the middle of nowhere? You know what I'm saying? But anything that has to do with the Bible, keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, you hate it, you shame it. It's a horrible thing. Meanwhile, this guy get to go and, abuse women and destroy women, and don't give them no structure. Don't teach them how to keep the commandments. Don't teach them, nothing. Don't protect them. Don't do nothing. He can absolutely do any and everything that he wants, and it is completely okay. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem. That's the problem, and that's what we read what's going on here, where the leaders of our land, say they pretty much okay with it. They pretty much okay with whatever goes on, behind closed doors, because they teach it. They teaching it. They teach to be that way. They teach. Their actions show you what they believe. I'll just drop the 16. I may have slipped up over there. But verse 16. So I can go. Wayaba'a Asaya Al Kazakwa Baya Yahweh Ha Panayamaya Yas Wa Hana Pa Sas Hayakal Yahweh Bayan Ha Awalam Wabayan Ha Mazabak Kai Ka Aisha Rayam Wa Hamasha Ayash Karayim, Al, Hayika, Yawaha, Wa Panayim, Wadama, Wa Hama, Masha Sakha, Wayath, Wadama, Lashama, La Shamash, Wayamar, Alya, Ara, Ayath, Ban, Ada, Adam, Alaqua, Laya, Labayath, Yahweh, Slakia, Yawada, Ma'aiwa, Slakia, Ma'ai Shawath, Ath, Ha, Thawa, Ibawath, Ashar, Aishawa, Pa, Kaya, Mala Awa, Atha, Haratiza, Kamas, Waya Slaki, Wa, Yashabawa, La, Ha, Ka, Ais, Wana, Slaki, Wa, Hana, Shala, Kayum, Atha, Ha, Zama, Wara, Al, Apa, Apan, Slaki, Wagam, Anaya, Aisha, Pa Kama, La'a, Thaka Was, Ayan Naya, Wala'a, Akamal, Wa, Kwa, Awa, Ba, A, Zanaya, Kwa, Gadawa, Wala'a, Ashamai, Awa, Slagi, Awa Thum, I think that ends verse 17. So in the Hebrew, where I left off, so Ezekiel chapter 8, verse 14. Then he brought me into the door of the gate of the Lord's house, which was towards the north. And behold, there sat a woman weeping for 2 miles. Then said he unto me, Hast thou seen this, O son of man? Turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations than these. And he brought me into the inner court of the Lord's house. And behold, at the door of the temple of the Lord, between the porch and the altar, were about 25 men, and their backs toward the temple of the Lord, and their faces toward the east. And they worshiped the sun towards the east. All right, that's Christianity, Slakia, in its entirety. Like you know, Christianity is sun worship. That's why it's on Sunday. They worship what the Lord created. And the Most High told us not to worship the sun, the moon, the stars. That's Jeremiah chapter 10. You know, the sun was created for the sake of man. It wasn't created to be worshipped. All right. So verse 17. Then he said unto me, Hast thou seen this, O son of man? Is it a light thing to the house of Judah that they commit the abominations that they commit here? All right. And this is what, being in Christianity is an abomination to the Lord. Being in Islam, worshiping anything outside of the Most High is an abomination to the Lord. And a lot of our people don't really understand what it means to be in these religions. They don't understand how much the Lord hates, Christianity, how much the Lord hates, the Buddha gods and all of these different religions where his chosen people are supposed to be in these different religions. Whether you Baptist, whether you Pentecostal, whatever you are, you know, you're not supposed to be in these. The Lord hate, you know, these other religions. I'll keep reading. It's lucky. Verse 17. It's lucky. For they have filled the land with violence and have returned to provoke me to anger. And lo, they put the branch to their nose. Like, this is what you do when you go into these other religions. Putting the branch to the nose, what is that today? You know, that's the equivalent of smoking weed. You know, drugs, you know, violence. In the ghetto, there's a church on every corner, but there's still a war between the red, the blue, the purple, the black. Like, all of these different gangs are fighting and shooting people up. And there's a church on every corner. And the only thing the church is doing is what? The church just making money. They're making money on all the dead people that come through for funerals. That's what they're making their money at. And the tithes that these people are going into these churches believing that somehow they don't get salvation, and the only thing you get to do is go to a funeral. Like, this is what these other doctrines and these other you know, what you call them, you know, gods, they idols. This is what they bring to the ghetto. They bring absolute violence, death, and destruction. You know what I'm saying? That's why. Because we believe in Caesar Borgia, because we believe in all of these other gods they don't do nothing for us. It's just what do they call it? You know, just, you know, a hope, a sign of hope that you think you're gonna leave, or you think you're gonna get better, or you think they're just gonna put the guns down, and the whole time it's, you know, nothing happens. The whole time it's a fairy tale. Nothing really happens. We continue in the same situation over and over and over and over and over, year after year after year, the same thing. We just read it right here. It's nothing but violence in the ghetto, on the barrio. People drunk, drug addicts, prostitution. Like, it is what hell is, to wake up every day and to go outside your house and there's a man who's strung out on drugs right there in the road. You get so used to it that you just walk. You looking at the brother like, you just walk right by. You know what I'm saying? That's hell. That's what it brings to us when you tell a person that the law done away with and you can pretty much do what you want to do. All right. So, verse 18. Therefore will I also deal in fury. My eyes shall not spare, neither will I have pity. And though they cry in my ears with a loud voice, yet will I not hear them. All right, this is why the ghetto prayers don't get answered. This is why you go to the barrio, their prayers don't get answered. Even when something good happened, it's almost like nothing good didn't happen, because the effects of something good happening reverse back on everybody that it's a shame. Somebody run into some money or something, it does nothing. The money spent, you worse off than what you was before you got the good job, before you got the promotion, before you got whatever you got. You're worse off after than before you got it. You know what I'm saying? The Lord don't answer the prayers, you know, of sinners as you read in the scriptures. And the Christian church makes sure that as you sit in that, you sit in them pews for 4 and 5 hours a day, or whatever however long you sit in there, they make sure that you're going to be a filthy, dirty sinner when you leave out of there. They're brainwashing you to be the worst person that you can ever be in your entire life. That's what they were telling you to do. All right. So that will go to verse 9. Ezekiel chapter 1, verse 9. Wayikwa Ba Haz Ba A Zanaya, Kawal, Ga Wa'al, La Amar, Kwa Bara, Kwabawa, Ga Kwa Dawas, Ha Ayar, Wa Ayash, Kauya, Ma Shakasawa, Baya Dawa, Wa Hana, Shasha, Sha Shaha, Ana Shayim, Ba Aya, Mada Dak, Sha Ira, Ha Ila Yawan, Ashar, Magbana, Taza Pawana, Wa Ayasha, Ayash, Slaki, Kaya, Mapa Tazawa, Maya Dawa, Wa Ayash, Akad, Ba Tawakam, Labash, Barayam, Wa Slaki, Wa Kwasath, Ha Sapar, Ba Matha Naya, Waya Ba Awa, Waya Slaki, Waya I Madwa, Tazala, Slaki, Mazabak, Slaki, A or Ha Nakashath, Waka Bawad, Ala Aya Yasha Allah, Na Ayla, Ma Ay, Ma'al, Ma Karawab, Ashar, Haya, Ayla, Aya, Yawa, Al, Mapa Than, Ha Bayath, Wa Yakwa Ra'a, Al, Ha Ayash, Halabash, Habadim, Ashar, Kwasath, Ha Sapor, Ba Masa Naya, Waya Amar, Yahawa, Halawa, Hala Yawa, Ibar, Baswan, Ha Ayar, Basa one, Ya Rawa Shalom, Wa Ha Thawa Yas, Sawa Al Mataza Kawath, Ha Alna Shayam, Hana Nakayam, Wa Ha Na Kwayam, Al Kaya or Kal, Hana Wa Aibawath, Ha Na Aishawath, Baswaka, Wala Slagi, Wala Alayla, Amar, Ba Al Zanaya, Aya Bawa, Bayan, Akaraya, Raya, Slagi, Wa, Hakawa, Al How, Sam Bakasa, Aya Na Yakum, Aya Nakum, Waya Al, Saba Slagi, Dak Ka Malawa, Zakwan, Ba Kawa. Waba Thawslaki. Waba Thawala. Wata. Wa Nashayim. Tha Hara Gawa. Lama Shah Kayeth. Wa'al. Kal. Ayash. Ashar. Ayawa. Ha Sawa. Al. Vagashwa. Wa Makwadashya. Sa Kayanawa. It's like Ka. Tha. Lawa. Waya Kalawa. Ba'a Nayashim. Ha Zakwa Nayam. Ashar. Lapunya. Mabayath. Amariwa. La Alahayim. Taza Ma'awa. Atha. Habayath. Wamala. Wa Mala Awa. Atha. Ha Kazatarawath. Kala Layim. Taza Awa. Waya Taza Wa'a. Wa Ha Wa Hakawa by Ayar. All right, in English, Ezekiel chapter 9, verse 1. He cried also in my ears with a loud voice, saying, cause them that have charge over the city to draw near, even every man with his destroying weapon in his hand. And behold, 6 men came from the way of the higher gate, which lieth toward the north, and every man a slaughter weapon in his hand. And one man among them was clothed with linen, with a writer's inkhorn by his side. And they went in and stood beside the brassen altar. And the glory of the God of Israel was gone up from the cherub, and upon he was to the threshold of the house. And he called the man clothed with linen, which had the writer's inkhorn by his side. And the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sight and that cry for all abominations that be done in the midst thereof. And to the others he said unto my hearing, go ye after him, through the city, and smite. Let not your eye spare, neither have ye pity. All right, so this shows you that you can't have a lifestyle that the Most High don't approve of, and that the Lord not going to bring some type of judgment to you. If you're living this alternative lifestyle, if you're living, contrary to the Most High, the Lord will send something against you. All right, this is what we're basically reading, where the Lord is telling a prophet, like, look, if these people are doing this, in this case, they're losing their life. All right. Verse 6. Slay utterly old and young. So it don't matter because she old or because he old. It doesn't even matter if they look. You know what I'm saying? Keep reading before I go forward. Both maids and little children and women. But come not near any man upon whom is the mark. Like in this time, anybody who was not doing what, all right, let me say that the right way. Anybody who wasn't doing what they were supposed to, regardless of their age, regardless of, gender, the Most High destroyed them. I mean, this is the same thing we read when we go in the book of Noah, and everybody partying and getting it in, and, they enjoying their 420, enjoying their, getting ready to go on to have your hot girl summer. You know what I'm saying? You having your parties and you doing your thing, and you heck with the laws of the Most High. Oh, that's old stuff. We don't care about that no more. They out there living, all kinds of, living their best life, doing everything that you shouldn't be doing. Right? This is what we read right here. Old, young, male, female, none of it mattered. Just like today, none of it matters right now. As everybody go and do what they want to do. They're not trying to get their life like the Lord wanted. They want to go out and have orgies and, smoke fest and thought it up in the club and twerk on Facebook and Instagram and show body and do all of this stuff that the Most High tells you, don't live in this manner. Don't live like this. All right. As we see and as we read, these people are being destroyed. They were told, to be. The Lord gave an order to, to remove these people off the planet because they're not doing as they're supposed to. Right? Verse 6 again. And begin at my sanctuary. Then they begin at the ancient men which were before the house. And he said unto them, defile the house and fill the courts with the slain. Go ye forth. And they went forth and slew in the city. And it came to pass, while they were slaying them, and I was left, and I fell upon my face and cried, and said, O Lord God, wilt thou destroy all the residue of Israel in the pouring out of thy fury upon Jerusalem? That gives you perfect understanding of why so many of our people, even today, refuse to follow the Most High. What we just read right here. So many of our people refuse to follow the Lord. No matter how much you show them Christ black, you show them, black, Hispanics, and Native Indians, the children of Israel. They say you ain't got no proof. You go into the ancient record, pull out old books that prove who the real Israelites are. And for some reason, that weed just is such a great part of their life. They don't want it. Facebook likes are so a part of their life that she want to take her clothes off and do all of this and get attention. That OnlyFans or fans only, I don't know what it's called. These things that America have is so great that they just say, nah, I don't want to do that. No matter how much proof you put before them to live a lifestyle according to God, it's just not beneficial, man, to them. All right? And we reading it right here in this same verse where the Lord is saying, like, the prophet is crying because there's so many brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? Verse 9. Then said he unto me, the iniquity of the house of Israel and Judah is exceedingly great, and the land is full of what? Blood, and the city full of perverseness. For they say, the Lord hath forsaken the earth, and the Lord seeth not. All right? This is what you're told. Like I say, they say, God don't exist no more. That's old. This book is old. Forget about it. Meanwhile, it's Saturday right now. They down probably at the beach getting it in, doing every wicked thing in the whole entire world. And you'll see in the last day it'll be the same. You know what I'm saying? Look at what's going on in Ukraine, right? The people in Ukraine was doing the same thing. They was partying and kicking back. Oh yeah, Russia, they do always do that. They got drills, And then what happened? Tanks pulled up. What the people was doing? Oh no, don't worry about it. It's perfect. It's Russia, they've done this before. And then all of a sudden, missiles start flying. Soldiers popping up. Cities are being destroyed. And then what you see the Ukrainians do, they start running for the border then. That same scenario is going to be in every U.S. city, y'all. It's going to be in every U.S. city, and people are going to continue ignoring the Most High because they don't believe the Bible real, and they think that they God, and the black woman's God, and Jesus is love, and bad stuff don't happen, and God don't put judgment on nobody. They're going to be doing the same thing when judgment comes to this country we know as America. And the scriptures say it's going to be so bad. Like I feel like Ezekiel right here. Like I just want to cry for Israel because of the horror that's going to be in each city because of our people refusing to repent, man. And we would rather be with the oppressor and the other nations than to be with the Most High. We think that their life is better. We think that the way that they, move is far better than what the Lord wants for us. Like, they don't see no benefit in following, you know what I'm saying? They'll just take the salvation is for everybody. I can go out and be a monster in my life. I can go out and do whatever I want to do. But at the end of the day, all I got to do is say in the blood of Jesus, and I'm good. That's what they believe. Well, these people in the scriptures we just read about believe the same thing. But the only thing is that the Lord said, look, he said the mark. Put a mark on these men and women and children. The ones that aren't marked are the ones that are going to get destroyed. Like, and being in the truth is the same thing. Like, you marking yourself so that when the destruction goes down, you won't be a part of what goes down when it go down. You'll get to look at other people and you'll get to see the true hand of the Most High. All right, and I think we got a little bit more on this. Right, verse 10. And as for me also, my eyes shall not spare, neither will I have pity, but I will recompense their ways upon their head. Like, you come on earth, there's I think this is how they say it in the world. There's a reaction. For every action, there's a reaction. Well, guess what? For every action you make on this planet Earth, there's going to be a reaction to what you're doing in regards to keeping the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. There's going to be some kind of reaction. You want to go out and live a horrible life according to the Most High? No, don't worry about it. You'll pay for it because you have to pay for it. You know what I'm saying? You'll pay for it. It may not be today. It may not even be 3 years from now. But to know that it's coming is all the whole thing. To know that you got something coming for you that you could have prevented. Like, you didn't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? You didn't have to commit that evil act. You didn't have to live that horrible lifestyle. You could have chose otherwise, but you didn't. You know what I'm saying? So now, when you go to Ecclesiastes, I think it says, what's the scripture? I'm paraphrasing. Something about in an hour, the fun is going to, I don't know the scripture right off, but nothing, like all the fun you have in all those years, in the day of judgment, you ain't going to remember none of them. Not one drop of ounce, none of that's going to mean anything, you know what I'm saying? So I would say preserve yourself, man. Keep the laws of the Most High. Make sure you in this truth. Yeah, you can still have fun, but the Lord wants you to do it his way. He wants you to keep the law, statutes, and commandments and separate yourself from, all of these different nations and these doctrines that they teach. All right. Verse 11. And behold, the man clothed with linen, which had the inkhorn by his side, reported the matter, saying, I have done as thou hast commanded me. All right. So the Lord gave orders to clean up his planet. He's giving the order now to clean up his planet. People still don't want to listen. Hey, we know what the scriptures say. It'll continue. So with that, we'll end the Sabbath service. I'll say Amaju while I pray the apple done. Which means stand and face the east. We always end it out with the prayers. And this is the Lord's Prayer. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malafka, Saba'ah, Ratazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Baharataza, Kawa, Hayah, Bashemai, Lathanawa, Lakam, Kal, Yawam, Wasalaklanawa, Kabawathnawa, Kasalaknawa, Kabawathyannawa, Wala'ah, Kaba Yahayanawa, Banasana 1, Habal, Hayashayanawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Waha'ala, Wahathaparva, Ayawalamyam, Amen. All right, in the English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy be done in earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Next prayer is a cup or power. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Babakashah. Nathanawa, a cup, La Pa'ah, Kal Madawa, Wakal Madawa, a cup, La Tahar, Hamatu Uriah, a cup, La Hakwiyam, Hamathiyam, a cup, Arakaris, Hatama'ala, La Garshim, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, the water. Amen. Okay, in the English it's Yahweh. In the name of Yahweh Shai, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out. In the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you. So be it. Next prayer is Psalms or blessings, like Barakatah Yahweh wa Yahweh Shai, wa Maka Ya Allah, wa Allahayim, Matazabiya Allah Yahana, Ha Alawampium, Ha Sabranium, Ha Quazazayanium, Ha Kayayawim, Wa Ha Akwathium, Yahweh, Ba Hashem Yahweh Shai, the water. Amen. Okay, in the English is bless you, Yahweh, and Yahweh Shai, and Michael, and the angels, Commander General Yahana, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you. So be it. Next prayer is going to be Psalms 121. Ayasha Ayanya Aharian, my Ayan, Yaba Izaria my Aim Yahweh, Aisha Shemayam, Waharatazam, Al Yathan, Lamawat, Regalga, Al Yanawam, Shamarka, Hanat Yanawam, Wala'ah, Yayashan, Shawamar, Yasha'Allah, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Al-Yad, Yom Yunka, Yanawam, Hashemah, La'akakauka, Wayarak, Malayala, Yahweh, Yashamar, Makal Rai, Yashamar, Ashnapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Taza'afka, Wawa'afka, Ma'aitha, Wad, Ayawalam. Okay, in the English, as I will lift up my eyes into the hills, from whence coming forth my help coming from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee shall not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. All right. Next prayer is Psalms 83. Allahayim, Al Damayelaka, Al Bakarash, Wa Al Thashakwat, Al Kayahana, Yahama Slaki, Yahama Yawam, Wama Shanaika, Osaki, Hawam Yika, Yahama Yawam, Wama Shanaika, Nasha Awa, Ra'ash, Al Imaka, Yarimo Yamwa, Sawa, Wayatha Awatazawa, Antazapawanyika, Amarwa, Lakawa, Wanakanki, Magalia, Wala'a, Yazakar, Shem Yasha Allah, Yawa, Iwa, Kaya, Nawa Aitazawa, La, Yakadwa, Al Yakad Bayath, Yakadwa, Wa, Ahaoya, Alwam, Wa Yashamalam, Ma Wa Abba, Wa Hagorian, Gabal, I'm one, I'm a lot, Palashath, I'm Yashabia, Tazawa, Gamashawa, Nalawa, Hain, Hayawa, Zarawai, Labanya, Lawat, Shalah, Aishalahum, Kanmadian, Kasa Yasa Ra'a, Kayabyan, Banakal, Kwaiwashawan, Nasha Madwa, by Ayanda Ara, Hayawa, Dama, Lahadama, Shayathamwa, Nadayabmawa, Kayarab, Wakazaba, Waka Zabak, Waka Tauzamana, Ka Nasi Yakamwa, Ashar, Amarwa, Na Yarasha, Nalawa, Hath, Nahawath, Alahayam, Alahaya, Shayathamwa, Kagalgala, Kakwash, Lapanya Raka, Kaash, Daba'ari Ira, Wakalaba, Thalabat, Haria, Khan, Tharadabma, Basa Irika, Wa, Basawapafka, Thabalahum, Mala'a, Panyahum, Kwalawan, Wayabashwa, Shemka Yahweh, Yabashwa, Waya Abawa, Aya I, Waya Aparwa, Waya Abadwa, Waya I, Waya Dawa, Kaya, Atha Shemka, Yahweh, Labadka, Al, Yawan, Al Kal, Ha Zaratiza. Okay, in the English. Again, this is Psalms, Psalms 83. Keep not thy silence, O Lord. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, Come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent, they are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Babal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. Ashur is also joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot Salah. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, and the brook of Kasar, which perished at Endor. They became dung for the earth. Make their nobles like a Reb, and like Zaeb, yea, all their prince as Zabah, and as Zumuna, who said, Let us take to ourselves the houses of God in possession. O my God, make them like a wheel, as a stove before the wind, and as the fire bringers of wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name, O Lord. Let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou whose name alone is Yahweh, art the Most High, over all the earth. With that, I'm going to say Shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Katah, Yahweh Shemartha. It's like Yahweh Shemartha by Shem Yahweh Shai. Also, today will be the closing of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. For those who can attend, we'll be down at the school in Pompano Beach. It will start at 7. With that, again, Shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shemartha by Shem Yahweh Shai.